You listen here, folks. I know you're excited about the greatest earnings week of all time coming up. You love this week. Every earnings season, it's the greatest week of all time. There are so many fantastic stocks reporting earnings this week coming up. It's hard to even cover all of them. Good golly. We'll see what goes on, and I'll try to make as many videos as I can next week. Obviously, a lot of very important companies reporting earnings, so I'll be up and at 'em and giving you that content, baby. Let's talk about these companies, though, reporting earnings. So I have a bunch of focus stocks, as you might expect. Tried to limit it to as many as I could, but there's so many good companies. It's tough. So let's just get cracking, because there's a lot to talk about today. Before open, on Monday, we have Otis, Lennox, Kimberly-Clark, nice company, love Kimberly-Clark. We still have financials reporting with Bank of Hawaii, Bank of Marin, HBT Financial, Community Bank, First Bank, Atlantic Union Bank. Look, there's a lot of banks still reporting earnings. Financials aren't done. We've seen pretty good numbers even out of some of these local ones. I'd like to see more from these local ones, see what we might be able to see from them, but we've seen good numbers at least, for sure. In there you have Northwestern Energy as well as Site. Nothing incredibly that's sticking out to me Monday before open. Kimberly-Clark, I like it a lot, but not necessarily an exciting company for earnings. It never is. But what is exciting is after close, you're starting off with a little bit of Facebook, baby. I hope you're all excited for Facebook earnings. You know what? There's a lot to recover from here. We're talking about a massive hit just on Friday, and you can see, just terrible. Look at the dip. In the last month, down 6%. Good golly. This stock's been hammered over the last month, as you can see there. So there's many reasons for it. So typically, this specific dip came as a result of failed Snapchat earnings, as well as some news about a new social media competitor. Look, Facebook's got nothing to worry about in terms of competitors. Let's just be clear with each other. It's Facebook. This is a company expected a EPS line of $3.19 over a $2.71 they posted last year. Again, this is a company that prints money like no one's business. It prints money. And they're expected to grow revenue here. Nice again. Grow revenue by over 20%. $29.58 billion expected, which is nice. That's a great expectation for them there. You love to freaking see it. On the year, expected to grow 39%, which is incredible to even imagine it. We have recovering ad rates. Look, the main thing with, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think Snapchat did fine on the earnings, but slight miss in revenue. And the concern becomes over Apple's privacy policy, how that is impacting revenue, because expectations are that is what impacted Snapchat's earnings and made them miss on revenue. Now, Facebook, let's be clear, it's at a much greater scale, and it's not really going to be facing that much, as much of an impact as someone like Snapchat that, loss in revenue to that extent it's quite significant, but it could be significant revenue loss for Facebook. I don't see it happening. Look, this is a resilient company, and it's a money printer. Regardless of what the revenue line looks like, I'll be honest with you. This is a company that absolutely, they're printing more money than the Fed. How much freaking net income they make, that's what I care about with Facebook stock. Good golly. That's why it's going to be a fantastic hold over the next 10 years, because eventually they'll transform that beautiful money factory into a dividend-paying factory. That's right. You like dividends? I do. So it's a great company to invest in even after this dip here, okay? Earnings should be great for them. If they fall even more after earnings, we're just selling the ship, baby. We're throwing it all into Facebook. Logitech reporting after them. Consistent company. Nothing exciting with Logitech again. Work from home still is a great factor for them as people buy devices like web cameras, which this is not a Logitech. This is way cheaper, as you can tell by the very high quality. It's cheaper than a Logitech. Look, some of those Logitech stream cameras, they're a little pricey. Good golly. AGNC, Potlatch Deltic, baby. Simulations Plus, Brown & Brown Insurance. Look, They're pretty cool guys, though, those Brown and Brown. Isn't that the guy that jumped off a building, though, or is that Brown and Crouppen? Can't remember. One of them jumped off a building, and it's quite sad, unfortunately. But that's what the field of insurance does to you, sadly. I mean, let's just be clear with each other. Has anyone ever been happy selling insurance? No. Crown, Cadence, PCA, Axalta, baby, and Calix. Don't forget Universal Health. Tuesday. Oh my gosh, the bangers don't stop. They just keep coming. Smash Mouth said it best. Even though they're broken up now, it's sad. I know. You're sad they broke up. I know I am. Good golly. I mean, I want to see All-Star on tour more than the rest of you. We're going to have to deal with cover bands now. Tuesday before open, UPS. Obviously a significant earnings report due to the fact that it's such an increased influx in business with online ordering. So UPS should be seeing a great boost consistently in the future. So expectations are going to be high for UPS, okay? So keep that in mind. GE, still a company in the midst of transition. I've been saying that for 3 years now because they've been transitioning for 3 years now with the new CEO. It's getting there. They cut half their business and now they're trying to rebuild. So they're getting there. Just give them some time. Not a company I like following quite yet anyways because they're not quite where they need to be. Lockheed Martin is defense spending up. Look, this is definitely not a great time for defense spending. You don't expect necessarily to see quite as much as you might have in previous years. So definitely something to consider. 3M, very quality company. Not a very exciting one given earnings season. I mean, it's fun for them. 3M is the next quarter's pretty exciting for them, I guess, because you talk about household products and stuff like command hooks, stuff of that ilk. 3M with all their household office products, it's pretty important. Hasbro, look, Hasbro, this is a company that absolutely says F you, buddy. Have you ever seen that they're transforming these board games now into digital versions, and they're charging ridiculous amounts? You try to buy freaking Scrabble on PlayStation, you're paying $25. It's Scrabble. I get the board game cheaper. Good golly. What's going on here, buddy? Is it worth that much to play against a computer? I guess so. I could just find a game online for free. Dang. Then we have JetBlue, another one of the airliners. Obviously, the whole sector seeing a little bit of a disappointing time, but that's okay. That's okay, JetBlue. We'll see what you can do. Raytheon, similar with Lockheed Martin, of course. Waste Management, consistent company. Everyone's got garbage, and they go through Waste Management, okay? Sherwin-Williams, painting, had a great year last year because of the fact that there was a lot of home improvement going on. And I think with house prices still at a very high point, new home sales have been increasing, actually, but with house prices still at a high point, people will still work on home improvement as opposed to working on moving out. Pult Homes, Corning, Lilly, and Embedder. Don't know what the crap that is. This is a new thing for me. I've never seen that one before, but I like it. After close, come on now. It's AMD. We love AMD. It's all about incredible growth rates with AMD, but we're talking about chip shortages, okay? That's the whole industry's talking about. What's AMD able to deliver here with quote-unquote chip shortages? My presumption is, as per we've seen with companies like Intel, Intel beat on an EPS standpoint by quite a bit. I think other companies might not hit necessarily on that. I think there will be more operating costs. So are they able to outweigh that? I don't know. It's a hyper-growth company. AMD's great management there. We'll see what they're able to do. I'm very excited about the earnings as I have a stake in AMD. So I'm not talking about ribeye. I'm talking about cashish, which is also ribeye costs a lot of cashish. And then Microsoft after them. Got to talk about Microsoft in depth, okay? I love Microsoft. Big position in Microsoft. $2.07 in EPS expected versus $1.82. Would be nice if they're able to grow it on that aspect. And a revenue standpoint, I like it a lot. $43.97 billion expected. A growth of 23% is a very hyper growth company still. You're talking about 20+% growth. That's hyper growth. And I think Microsoft, it trades at a very high valuation. Let's be clear with each other. But I think it deserves it wholeheartedly. Now, because of the high valuation, it puts into concern that there could be increased volatility around earnings. So keep that into consideration. I think they'll be doing great numbers. We've seen great reports. I mean, even if you're looking at a smaller aspect of their business being the video game aspect of it, we've seen great reports of consoles increasing year over year significantly as the supply not only gets a little bit greater, but we're talking about incredible prices they're charging. You try to get a PlayStation 5 at Walmart, they're charging $950 now. This thing was $600 when it launched. You're talking about a 50% increase. What's going on here? I'm getting bent over the coals, dude. I don't think that's the phrase, but I just said it that way. Whew, okay. Let's refrain from that nonsense there. Alphabet after them. Google, we love to see it. Ad rates have recovered. Google, look, you gotta quit with your garbage Google-fi ads. They're terrible. I'm sorry to call you out right now. Look, just have them sing in rhythm, okay? Why do they have to just randomly make stuff up with no beat to it at all? Good grief. Phone plan that can't make a freaking ad. Good golly. I'm going to get banned for that one. Don't you worry. No one report that. Visa, but good numbers expected out of Google. I mean, obviously. Visa, look, great numbers. We've seen great numbers from financials. Expect good numbers out of Visa. Credit spend, still up, okay? Twitter, relative to what Facebook did, I mean, you'd relate them. I mean, I think they'll put up similar numbers. Again, the story's still kind of about user growth with these companies. Apparently with Snapchat it didn't matter just because they beat in terms of user growth, but they missed on revenue, so that kind of outweighed it. But we'll see what Twitter's able to post up. Kind of a garbage company. Let's be clear. Twitter, you know what you are. You know what you are. Texas Instruments, great company, not an exciting earnings company. Enphase, Quantum Scope, F5, not the tornadoes. This is a company, baby. Capital One Bank. More financials. Teradyne, BYD? Or is that? No, it's hard to say. And Ashford. Let's get into Wednesday before open with Boeing. The biggest of the airlines, okay? The most garbage of the airlines. Just kidding. That was rude of me. But Boeing, look, they have a lot to recover from. Treacherous nightmares that they've experienced over the last couple of years. In terms of money loss, it has been crazy how much money they lost last year, and then obviously with the MAX issue as well, just a nightmare. Okay, the company's working on recovery mode, damage control. Definitely a stock I've decided to stay away from. Don't want anything to do with it. Okay, it's a little risque. Not to say they won't do well, but stock was it's a concerning company, right? I feel like they don't know what they're doing here. GM. It's hard to say. First of the really interesting vehicle companies to report. We saw Tesla last week put a great number up, but it's not really in the same industry. Look, a solely electric company is not quite what you're looking at GM. Now, the concern, or really not necessarily the concern, but the talk of the day is going to be on electrification. You're going to see it with Ford as well, which we'll get into. Coca-Cola after them. Pepsi reported good numbers. Coca-Cola should be doing great. We're going to see recovery in the restaurant sector for Coca-Cola. That's the exciting part. That'll be a nice boon to the revenue. McDonald's, Chipotle reported great numbers. McDonald's should be putting great numbers up. Look, McDonald's, they're starting off with the dumbest name ever for a plant-based burger, the McPlant. Sounds disgusting. They make it sound the least appetizing thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Yeah, but Beyond Meat, good for you. Spotify, great company. Great company. I think they're going to be doing consistently good numbers. You talk about all the increased content they've been adding up there. It's great for Spotify. They're just growing users like crazy. Harley Davidson, look, you need to stop blaring that motorcycle at 10 p.m. at night, folks. You got to stop. The motorcycles, they're not cool. They're not cool, okay? It's not cool. Bristol Myers Squibb, Thermo Fisher Scientific, Boston Scientific, what can I say? Six Flags, gonna have great year-over-year comparisons for Six Flags, obviously. But but not an exciting company in my opinion. There's not much of a factor there for growth. Iserv. After close, I'm talking about Ford as a focus stock. Why? Well, really, it's about electrification, not really about these numbers. We're going to talk about Mach-E delivery. It's going to be a huge impact as far as how this stock trades. Look, the stock is trading at a much higher multiple now than it has historically solely because of the electrification factor. So that is what matters with these earnings. If they don't really hit on expectations, we're talking about Ford, the F-150 Lightning, beautiful truck by the way. We're talking about reservations. We're talking about Mach-E sales. That's what matters with this company right now. Expected an EPS line of 26 cents compared to 65 cents. Curious what that is. I'm presuming it's got to do with increased cost of not only cost of labor, but also cost of goods right now, is my opinion. And then they're expected $33 billion in terms of revenue, which is actually really good. This is a company that's it's posted some bad quarters recently, and I think this could be a great quarter for them, all things considered, if they're able to put up good numbers. And once they get really into the thick of it with electrification, I think this company will do great in the long run. Teladoc Health, eBay. I mean, come on now, eBay's great stuff. E-commerce is going bonkers. So eBay's going to continue to do well. Not one I've really heard from in a while. And you don't think about eBay as still a player. You think about it 10 years ago, you talk about eBay a lot, but they're still a big player in the game, okay? Twilio, ServiceNow, Upwork, which is a company that doesn't do anything. It's a fake company, for sure. Yum Brand China. They love KFC over there, man, I'm telling you. Align. They got some weird sandwiches, though. It's kind of weird. Irobot is a company I love following, okay? The stock's been crazy over the last year in terms of up and downs. It's crazy. We've seen massive highs, and we've seen it, fall down 50% from those highs. So I still like the concept of robot vacuums and robot mops in the long run, and I know they got rid of the concept for the robot mower, but I think that'll be a great concept in the future if they can push that one out. Xilinx, Sleep Number, would love to get a Sleep Number mattress, I really would. Annaly Capital, love Annaly actually, I do. And Kaki, that's what you call waste. When you're a kid, you call it that probably. Thursday before open, Shopify is a fantastic company. Love it. Earnings are always important with Shopify because you're talking about increase in e-commerce. This company's taken off. Shopify is a used platform by nearly everyone out there, every retailer. It's fantastic what they're able to do. And they're subscription-based. So you think about the fact that this is recurring revenue, and that's a big line with them is you're talking about annualized recurring revenue. That's a big number for them. That's what you want to see. MasterCard, I'd relate them to Visa. I mean, we're talking about similar companies here in terms of business model. Same exact thing. Caterpillar, Overstock, another online e-commerce play, more focused on furniture. Had bad experiences with them before, so screw them. You delayed the console delivery, then you just completely canceled the order. F you, buddy. Had to go somewhere else. Screw you, Overstock. Checkpoint, Amazon's better. Checkpoint, great stuff. Altria, decent company there. Siriusxm, I see advertisements all over the place. Does anyone actually use Siriusxm? I know I don't. 1-800-Flowers.com, Merck, Dago, New Energy, Stanley Black & Decker, not an exciting company there. Maybe with the home improvement craze you could see it, but that's more of a last year type deal. Okay, Stanley Black & Decker, you chill out. You just start selling kids' toys now. Yum Brands, everywhere else, not China. Love Yum Brands. Haven't had the new KFC sandwich. I gotta try it though. I really do have to try it. Newmont Gold Corp, and you love Anheuser-Busch, baby. I don't know if I do. I don't drink, but that's okay. Apple reporting earnings on Thursday. Don't talk to me about Apple earnings ever again because this is a great quarter. Good grief. $1.24 expected versus 73 cents a year ago. Fantastic. $84.82 billion expected. 31% growth. 31% growth. The focus here again. Oops, wrong. I didn't click the wrong one. You did. You clicked it. The focus here, let's be clear with each other, it's going to be on iPhone sales with chip concerns, but there's great things. We've got new iPad, we've got new Mac, we've got new everything. The Apple chip, it's all about talking about that. Apple Watch going to continue to show magnificent growth. We're going to talk about services growing significantly yet again year over year, high double digits. It's great. It's great stuff. Apple's just a beautiful company. Going to report a smash from earnings, in my opinion. I expect them to beat that revenue by a good 500 millo. That's what we call million in this house, just in case you're curious. Then we have Amazon. Look, Amazon's also fantastic. To fall significantly, $8.93 compared to $12.37. Average analyst estimates here looking pretty bad on that EPS line, which I presume they'll beat. But expected to grow revenue only 16% this quarter. I say only 16%, but we're talking about magnificent growth still. We're talking about an increase of $16 billion. $111 billion expected versus $96 billion of the year prior. Very nice to see. Great numbers there. I mean, this is just an unstoppable play as Amazon. So I mean, there's nothing special they can report. It's just good numbers. It's just all they do. They're a dominant company, and they're only going to continue to dominate. Starbucks. I love Starbucks. I always talk about Starbucks as well because they just released great earnings. They're doing great things. Last quarter was a great earnings report. This quarter, I expect pretty good numbers out of Starbucks for sure. Stock X, Skechers, baby. Skechers are kid shoes, I feel like. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Gilead Sciences, position I hold, like to talk about. Western Digital, it's important to look at in terms of the chip companies because it's very traditional in its aspect. You compare it to a company like Micron, definitely one that you got to look at is Western Digital. Dexcom MicroStrategy, Jira Software, Deckers, Transforce, VeriSign, Yamana Gold, and Zendesk, baby. That wraps up Thursday. Great stocks on Thursday. I love to see it. Makes me excited. Friday before open, ExxonMobil. Okay, oil companies, traditional, baby. AbbVie, I love AbbVie. Great numbers here, but nothing significantly crazy with earnings on AbbVie. They just consistently beat, baby. Chevron, more oil. Weyerhaeuser. It's Weyerhaeuser. I had to say it properly. Phillips 66. Shaw. Huntsman. Yandel Basel. Why are there lines under all the L's? I don't know what that means. Folks, someone's got to explain that to me. MoneyGram, do you send money, baby? Booz Allen Hamilton. Come on now. Charter and Cohen Group. Who knew Charter still existed? Who uses Charter services? They're garbage. The main focus Friday is going to be on oil. How are they doing? Well, I think they're going to be doing quite well because gasoline prices go to the moon. Thanks, President Brandon. I'll leave it on that.